Hi, this is Sean Reynolds, the owner and designated managing broker of Summit Properties Northwest. This is a quick how-to video on using Form 17. That's the seller disclosure. Let's jump right into it. All right, so at the top, go ahead and put in seller number one's name, seller number two's name. Jump down to the property address. That goes here, city, state, zip, county. All right, and then you get into all of the questions. The first question is the seller is or not occupying the property? And I have them answer that. And then of all these questions, you basically need to have the seller answer yes, no, don't know, or NA. And the more information you can accurately give, obviously the better, and that way you don't have to explain it down the road. And for any of these that have the asterisks, and you put yes, then you need to explain that, and you're going to explain that down here. As you can see, if the answer is yes to any of the asterisk items, please explain below. And also, please refer to the line number of the questions. And so here are the line numbers on the side here. All right, so that's just a quick little note. So you go through, you have your sellers answer all of these questions. You got page 1, page 2, page 3, and then page 4, and page 5. And so then then you have the sellers just go through, and you might want to sit with them while they fill this out, because a lot of times sellers will have questions just on some specific stuff that we as real estate brokers kind of take for granted, some verbiage. So if you can, sit with your seller or do it via phone, and it'll take a while because there's a lot of information on the Form 17. But having this accurately filled out saves so much time down the road trying to explain to a buyer, well, we filled it out that way because we did this. So go ahead, fill it out to the best, have the sellers fill it out to the best of their knowledge. And then once it's all filled out, typically you're going to upload that to your listing so that the buyer can have a chance to see the Form 17 ahead of making an offer. All right, and then towards the bottom of page 5, that's the end of the Form 17, you've got 3 places to sign. The buyer signs here, here, and date it here and here. And this is basically just saying that the buyer understands, yep, we've received a copy of it, and we know that we have 3 days from signing this to reject the transaction based on the Form 17. The second place that there is a room for signature is down here, number 2, buyer's waiver right to revoke offer. Buyer has read and reviewed the seller's responses to the seller disclosure statement. Buyer approves this statement and waives buyer's right to revoke buyer's offer based on this disclosure. So the second one is basically, yep, I've read it. I'm not going to revoke my offer. I'm okay with everything in the Form 17. And then we've got the third thing, which is buyer's waiver of right to receive completed seller disclosure statement. The buyer basically knows that they've got the right to receive it and they're waiving that. Don't care. They just want to move on with the transaction. One of the things that this waiver doesn't cover is that if anything in the environmental section would be yes, buyer may not waive the receipt of the environmental section of the seller disclosure statement. So that still stands. But everything else within the Form 17 basically gets waived if the buyer signs number 3. And so then on each of, after the seller has entered in all the information on all the questions, going back up to the top, the seller will initial and date each page. We'll go up now. Yeah, the seller also basically states right here, yep, that this information is correct. And then towards the bottom of each page, seller initials and dates. So that is really about it for the Form 17. I'm not going to get into the specifics of the Form 17 because that would take far too long for the purposes of this video. But if you want an explanation of more detail, I always go to the Forms Manual and go to Form 17, Seller Disclosure Statement, and they have a pretty in-depth explanation of each of the items in the Form 17. So that's really about it. All right. Again, I'm Sean Reynolds from Summit Properties Northwest. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. We'll catch you in the next one. All right. Bye. Here's the Summit difference. We offer an industry-high 80-20 split with absolutely zero fees, a low $10,000 cap, and a free listing video including drone for every single home that Summit Properties Northwest lists. For more information, click on the first link in the description of this video.